My name is Lawrence Ray, also known as LRW3, and this is actually the first interview in the new commercial spot. So milestones being done today, as well as this is the first cosmetologist, did I say that correct, that I have with me. Very established, getting a lot of awards, killing it right now as far as on that side of things. So I'm going to go ahead and have you introduce yourself to the people, let them know who you are, and let them know where they can find you at.
Hello everybody, I am Ashton Moss, also known as the Hair Homicide. I am a hairstylist in the Middle Georgia area. I'm out of Warren Robins at Salon Fusion. You can find me on social media at Ashton Moss on Facebook or the Hair Homicide on Instagram.
Now I gotta ask when we get started, why they call you the Hair Homicide?
So it was actually an alter ego I made up for myself because a lot of people might not believe it, but I'm a very shy, introverted person. So when I came up with the Hair Homicide, it was like a way where I could kind of personify my personality in the salon, because in the salon, my personality doesn't come off as shy. I try to make every client feel like the best version of themselves. I try to create a safe space for everybody where they can just let their hair down, laugh, talk, and even on stage, it's me really it gave me an avenue to create the person that I wanted people to see on stage. So
did you think of that name, or did somebody else give you that name? You just ran with it?
I actually thought of that name.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with being introverted. A lot of people don't know I'm actually introverted too. It's crazy because I got this podcast and you think I'm good at talking, but no, all these interviews and things be planned out. I'm not good on just on the spot. How does that work too as a cosmetologist? Because you probably got to be good at just, I guess, small talk.
Well, what helps me is I'm very big on mental health. Mental health is very near and dear to my heart, especially in the African American community. So a lot of time in the salon, we talk about real life issues. We talk about real life issues, just adulting. My older clients, I love hearing wisdom from them. My middle age and clients my age, I love just talking about life with them, So that's what helped me kind of break out of my shell and be comfortable talking in the salon with them.
I got you. So Salon Fusion, what made you end up there? How did you end up at that shop of all places? And that's the first shop you were at, or?
No, I've actually been there for 4 years now. I've worked in several salons at Warner Robins. I've been here for 10 years. What made me choose Salon Fusion is the salon I was working in at the time. We were getting closed down because the place had gotten under new management. And so when the owner gave me my new contract for a booth rent, my new booth rental contract, it was expensive, more expensive than the average going rate of booth rent at Warner Robins.
Were they, not to cut you off, were the new owners, were they familiar with the area, or was it like big business where they didn't really care? They was going to do what they wanted?
It was more so big business where they kind of didn't care.
Okay.
And when that was presented to me, I really had a come to Jesus moment. I was scared because I tell people all the time, all I've known pretty much was doing hair. I'm just kind of learning the business side of the beauty industry. So it was like I had a moment where I was like, okay, either you gonna pay an excess amount of money making this person's dream come true, or are you gonna branch out and make your own dream come true? So that's when I began to look up salon suites in Warner Robins, and I seen Salon Fusion had them, and I was like, you know what, hey, let me go and see if they have any available spaces, and from there,
So is it like a regular salon where you come in, or does everybody have their own? Does everybody have their own room over there? It sounds like.
So technically, we all are salon owners.
That's
we
what it
all
sounds
own our own salons in there. The only difference between a salon suite and a storefront is you don't have to worry about all the overhead. So
you're a master cosmetologist at Salon Fusion. Is that because I know people become master barbers. Is that kind of the same thing, or and I don't know if you know, of course, but what is the difference between a master cosmetologist and a master barber?
So, okay, I know from the cosmetology end, a master cosmetologist means in beauty school, we had to master everything. Hair, nails, skin, all of it. You have some beauty schools where people just go to be an esthetician. You have some schools where people just go to be a nail technician or a hair designer. But master cosmetologist means you are certified to do it all. Hair, nails, skin, facial, waxing, all across the board. You could do anything.
For those interested in that, how long is the schooling on that?
The program is actually like maybe like a year.
Oh, that's not bad.
Mine was a year and a half because I opted to take all my core classes first and then go in my major, so I wouldn't have to worry about taking my major during the day and a core class at night.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, what all services do you offer yourself?
I am a big healthy hairstylist, so I offer from silk presses. I'm a color specialist. I do short hair. I do weaving services. I pretty much do anything except braiding.
Why don't you braid? It's just personal choice, or?
It's really just personal choice for time purposes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, let's see. Let's start. Matter of fact, let's go back before we kind of got into the cosmetologist already. Let's give people some background. I like to tell everybody I like to build a foundation on these interviews. So, had they never seen you before, they don't have to go nowhere else to figure out what they need to know about you. So, pre-cosmetology, give them some background just on you in general and your life growing up.
Well, I'm from a very small town. A lot of people don't know it's Hancock County, Sparta, Georgia.
Not Sparta, but y'all love handing out some tickets in Sparta, man. That's the only reason I know Sparta. You get a ticket riding through Sparta.
You will. And the sad thing is a lot of them is my cousins.
Oh, man. Hey, they got a job to do. I ain't knocking.
You know, we ain't got number 3 red lights.
Hey.
But, you know, I come from a very small town, humble beginnings. I tell people, I did grow up most of my life going in between Augusta, Georgia and Sparta, Georgia. So I know the city life and I know the country life. And it made me gain an appreciation for both. Very big in the church. I love the Lord. That was a struggle because, you know, of course, growing up in a strong Baptist family, it was like, you know, discovering who I am as a man, as a homosexual black man. It was very hard. And even before I knew who I was and what I was bullied very bad. So I've always known that I wanted to be a hairstylist. But as I got older, and just kind of being bullied, it kind of gave me a different purpose. When I would go to the salon with my mom or any of my family members, I would notice that when they turned the people around in the chair, and even when I got my hair cut, it was a smile that came on these people's faces. It was a different attitude when you got out that chair. I thought of them as superheroes. So
I said a good barber or a good cosmetologist can change your whole energy, put you in the game or take you out the game if they're not good. Like, that's real.
So I always wanted to give that confidence to people. And so I tell people with anything, a lot of people say, you want to know your why. That's my why. Giving people their confidence, you know, all that good stuff. But I've always known I want to do hair. I want to be a cosmetologist. I started doing hair maybe about like 14, 15 years old. I was in high school. And my mom, she wanted me to braid her hair. And I told, she needed her hair braided. And I was like, Mama, I can braid your hair. And she was like, you can't braid my hair. And I said, get the hair and I'll braid it. And she was so shocked. She went to sleep and woke up, her hair was braided. And from there, it just grew. And as I got older, I assisted in salons. I did hair out my grandma's house.
I think that's what everybody I spoke to as far as who did hair, cut hair, got to start in grandma's house. That's just a rite of passage.
She did. They really supported me growing up. You know, my friends, my classmates, all that. I did all their hair. And, you know, as I got older, I went to beauty school, got my license, and here we are.
I like that. I like that journey. Like you said, because I know you said you had a struggle at first. Was it you trying? Because I know like some people I've spoken to, they'll know what they want to do, but they don't want to do it for whatever reason. Was that your struggle, or where did you know, like you said, the church with the homosexuality, that's probably enough of a struggle in itself, having to deal with that. As far as your family goes in that situation, it sounded like though they were very supportive of you, at least to a certain extent, not to get too deep in the family business at all, of course, but.
So I will say this, from my close family, like my mom and my siblings, they were very supportive, and they laughed when I came out to them. They laughed. They was like, My mom would literally ask me, Ashton, are you gay? And I would say no. She'd be like, oh, okay.
I think that's the funny thing too. Well, I say funny, not in a true funny way, but like, cause I got a lot of the homies that are homosexual. You know, they ain't, you know, I'm one of those people. I don't care what you are. That's your business. But it's one of those too when you know when you all come out, it'd be like, okay, like you think we didn't know that already? Like, okay, that's fine. Anyway, it's more of a anyways than a oh my god, like you don't see that coming. But it's good. Like it's good that your family was supportive of you and they didn't. You know, it sounds like that was a turning point maybe when you came out to then now you can just start going how you want to go within your life, and it sounds like everybody kind of got behind you at least at that point.
It really put in perspective who mattered and who didn't.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, I had family that didn't, but you know that means that their season in my life had passed.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn how to deal with them accordingly, and I had to not really let it break the person that I was becoming.
Absolutely.
So you know, you kind of learn early along to develop thick skin because you're gonna need it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's definitely inspiring for somebody, especially I know it's a cosmetologist out there or a young man, like you said, trying to figure out how to come out to his family who I feel like would hear that and know, hey, it's okay, go ahead. Like 9 times out of 10, we already know anyway. And, you know, even if they didn't know, go ahead and start that next chapter of your life and what's next for you. So for the people who don't know about your extensive history in the teaching, because you have a history of teaching other cosmetologists, giving the information that you learned, just name some of the people you taught for and just the experience of teaching new cosmetologists.
Actually, it's a shocker that I'm here, because I've always wanted to be a platform educator, but I never thought that they would actually come. But I've had a chance to work with some great names in the industry, from JB Nicole. I worked with her. I've been working with her for the past few years. I've been a color educator for her. Taiwan Williams. Taiwan is actually, he's a celebrity movie hairstylist now. And he's from my hometown as well. So that's amazing.
Is that something you want to get into, or?
I actually do not want to do celebrity hair.
I've heard a lot. That's why I see a lot of people say they don't want to do it at all. Because I would assume it makes good money. But why does everybody not want to do it? Is it just dealing with the celebrity aspect of it, or what is it?
So from one end, it's a sacrifice. You have no life. You're at their beck and call. And two, you know, it's just the point of getting to build up where you make money. Because, you know, at first, you know, you're not necessarily insured through the union. So to get in the beauty union, you have to do a certain amount of hours of like work to get there. And in that work, if people don't know you're insured, if people know you're not insured through the union, they won't pay you. And there's really nothing you can do about it. So you'll be done a free, you might work on a movie set for hours and hours and won't get paid.
So I guess what is the point of doing that then? I guess would ask. But I guess maybe the experience, and then once you get through, I guess that's where the money is. I don't know.
Right. Once you get to a certain level, there's definitely money in it. But it's just getting to the level. It's a lot of sacrifice getting to that level.
Let me ask you this. Do a lot of people get to that level, or they usually stop before they ever reach that quote unquote level?
I feel like with anything, if you want something bad enough, you're going to work hard to get there. So I would say when you go in that avenue, it separates the boys from the men. That
makes sense. Okay, makes sense. But yeah, speak more, like I said, some of the people you taught for and just the experience of teaching people.
The experience of teaching people, it's amazing. I love knowledge, whether it be me learning or me teaching it to people. So I think the best thing about teaching it to people is, you know, even in the Bible it says without lack of knowledge, the people perish. So especially with us, I chose to go more in the avenue of education in coloring, because a lot of African American stylists, either they are A, afraid to color, or B, you know, they end up damaging a lot of people's hair from color, and it traumatizes people when it comes to getting their hair colored. They're like,
and I'm speaking to somebody who don't know how to do anything, I ain't gonna lie. Is it difficult to color hair? Is that why people don't want to do it, or why is there such a fear of coloring hair?
So I'm not gonna say coloring hair is difficult. Coloring someone's hair and keeping it healthy.
Got you.
You have to really, really know what you're doing with our hair to color it and keep it healthy. That's the biggest thing. That's where you really can make a lot of money in this industry. if you can color somebody's hair and keep it healthy, for people that love to wear color, you'll have clients for life.
That makes sense. I'm assuming probably what you put into the hair is what's easy to damage the hair, probably the dye and stuff. Is that what the difficult part of it is?
Definitely, you have to know how things are made. I'm a nerd on the inside. I'm very big on chemistry. I like to know how things are made. I like to know how things are made. I like to know the structural makeup of things, because that determines, how it's going to react to our hair. Learning ammonia contents of color, learning all that, that's how you know how color brands are on the hair, whether it's really abrasive or whether it's not, So you really want to kind of study the chemistry part of everything and learn the makeup of what you're using.
Now that makes sense. I like that. So let me go to this next question. Hair battles. First off, for people who don't know, like I have an idea, like I said, because I got a lot of barber friends, so they told me, so I'm kind of assuming, but I don't want to assume anything. Kind of explain just in general what they are for people, and then your start into it.
A hair battle is, you can create your own world. It's like, it really pushes your mind and shows you what you can do as an artist. Like, that's where you show the world who you really are. Whether it, you have different avenues of hair battles. You have the hair battles where you might have one model, and you have to transform them on stage. Or you have the hair battles where you actually have to put together a skit.
A skit?
A theme.
Oh.
You have to create a mini movie on stage. And you have to really show people in that mini movie. You have to make them get your theme, make them want more of your theme, So what I like about it is you really get to create and show people who you really are.
Gotcha. So talk to us about your first experience getting into the hair battles. How did you end up in hair battles is the question.
Wow. It was 2014. I had been watching this guy I worked in a salon with here, Vernon Love. His name is Vernon Love.
Well, I don't know why I've heard that name before. I don't know where at or why. But
he was very popular here for years in the beauty industry here, Vernon Love.
Why then.
And he did this hair battle in Macon called the Pro Beauty Show, and it's under the late Miss Beverly Pitts. And at the time, my friend Princess Lachelle, she had her old snap makeup and hair battle. No, it was makeup and nail battle then. She didn't do hair that year. It was makeup and nail. And I saw Miss Beverly Pitts there, and I remember being this young boy, afraid out my mind, but I approached her and I said, Miss Beverly, I think I want to do the Pro Beauty Show. And so she told me what it entailed, and I entered. I entered not knowing anything. I had never done a big hair battle before. And a long time of preparing for it, I also got hit with a curveball that they were recording a reality show with this thing too.
So you mess up, it's on camera too, basically. Little added pressure.
Right. And so in the midst of it all, I wasn't actually licensed at the time. I was still working on getting my license. It was a lot going behind me getting my license then. And
were you allowed to do it then with no license, or?
She took a chance on me.
Oh.
She said, you know what, Ashton? I'm going to give you a chance. Don't make me look bad. Because I had showed her all the proof that, hey, this is something actively going. I'm actively working toward getting my license. So she let me do it. So we get to the day of show. I'm nervous out of my mind. The cameras are coming around me recording. I'm like, y'all, please get out my face. I'm just trying to keep my nerves calm to get on this stage.
Did you know at that time who was it was a film crew? Did you know who they were filming for?
I did. We were actually, it was WeTV's Cutting It in the ATL. We were going to get these two stylists from that TV show, and they were filming it. And so our theme that year was Kill Bill. And we got on that stage, and when I walked out there, I just remember everything being a blur. And Got off stage.
How many people are usually at these hair battles when they? I know, because I've seen some big ones, like they pack out, like it look like warehouse size venues, but how big are the ones usually kind of around this area?
So the ones in this area, it's not too bad. Now Pro Beauty used to have a lot of people.
Okay.
But it can go anywhere from being hundreds of people to I've competed in front of millions of people. I actually will be competing in April in front of thousands to millions of people.
That's dope. That's dope. So, what are some? You just told us your first one. What are some other like truly memorable moments? Because like I'm gonna have you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell some of the people. Don't do the modest. It's the one time I need you not to be modest. Tell some of the people some of the awards you won as far as since you. Because how long have you been competing now at this point?
Since 2014.
So since 2014, just name some of the awards. I don't want to say more memorable awards because they all are important, but just some of the awards that stick out to you, just so people can know kind of the accolades that you've earned.
Definitely both winning Pro Beauty 2014 and 2016. Those were memorable ones because I was going against some heavy hitters. I was going against celebrity hairstylists. One of them, one of the people I was battling was the team of Nicki Minaj's old hairstylist, Terrence Davidson. So you can imagine the pressure I felt.
Absolutely.
Little old me going against him. And I won that year. So those definitely stuck out to me. Bronner Brothers, Champion of Weave. That was really my testimony to not give up. I did that battle 3 times. The first time I did it, I won 3rd place. The second time, me and my model didn't place at all. I studied each time what the judges told me, and I made sure I came back the 3rd time correct. The 3rd time, won 1st place.
That's awesome.
And for those of the people that don't know what Champion of Weave is, it's a 45-minute live on stage sew-in battle. You have to execute the sew-in, cut, and style in 45 minutes.
Ain't that like super? Like I said, I don't want to pretend I'm super familiar with cosmetology, but from all the times I've known females to go to the salon, it wasn't 45 minutes. So I'm assuming they gave y'all a short amount of time on purpose.
They did. It pushes your skills. It tests your ability. So.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. Those are the most memorable ones, or is there another one you want to mention?
And actually, my most recent one. What led me to the point I am today. The toughest one. This was my first. 2022 was my first year ever competing out of the state of Georgia.
Where you went this time?
I went into 4 different states. We brought home the trophy from each state.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Talk your talk now. Don't be modest. Talk your talk.
So it was literally, no, I'm sorry. 3 different states. We competed in Birmingham twice. Birmingham, Alabama twice. So it was 3. But we brought home the trophy each time. And I think that was the biggest way of like me really reintroducing myself to the world and really showing them who I really am. My biggest one so far it was called Beat the Stage. The next, it was a competition hosted by Kevin Kirk. And with that one, with winning that competition, you know, you were in the running to be the next person to go to Bronner Bros hair battle. And with that battle, Bronner Bros is like the biggest hair show.
Yeah, I heard of that one. That's why I was like, okay.
So in this battle, you battle for $10,000. So, you know, with the process of getting ready for that one, I felt so much pressure. And to not only go up there and do it, but win 1st place.
Oh, you got the 10. They gave you the 10.
It was amazing. Well, no, with that one, we actually won 1,000. So how it was supposed to go is, we were supposed to, the top 2 was supposed to go advance on and battle again to go for the spot to go to Bronner Brothers.
Okay, you get the 10 at Bronner's, it sounds like then. Gotcha. Okay.
And After that, shortly after, I got a call. I had been praying for it for a long time, but I didn't think it would come so soon. And I remember on the call saying, "Are you ready to work the hardest you've ever worked in your life?" It was basically me being told, "Hey, you got a chance to go to Bronner Bros hair battle, the battle for $10,000. As happy as I was, I'm like, God, is this really what you want me to do? We have 3 months. We have to raise so much money. We have to do so much. Is this something? And I remember my mentors, my mom saying, your gift is going to make room for you. You just have to keep fighting. And so I said yes. And so that's where I'm at today.
And that's the competition in April that you're talking about? Okay.
It is.
I like that. I like that. So it's January. So we're 3 months out from it. What's your mindset right now towards it? Are you ready or you getting ready? How are we feeling right now?
I am getting ready.
Do you know what you're going to be competing in yet or no?
I do know where I'm going to be competing and who I'm going to be competing against.
Okay, got to know the competition. You got to.
And we'll actually be competing in New Orleans.
Oh, I lived in New Orleans. That's a nice little place.
New Orleans, Louisiana. And the crazy thing is, when I found out, we were actually headed there for my sister's birthday in December. And I remember getting there, and when we went to the mall, the outlet said Riverwalk Mall. The place we were competing at is right next to it. And I remember going in there and saying a prayer.
It's meant to be.
Right. And that was when I knew I was ready.
I like that. I like that. I like that focus. I like that focus. And the fact, I feel like it's going to come full circle. You got the news in New Orleans, literally at the place. That's a sign right there that is more to come. That's not the end of the story. Of course, we wish you well on that. Not that you need it, because I think you already, he being modest, I don't know why, but his awards already show it's meant for him. I tell everybody, when it's undeniable, they can't deny you. You done put it up for a long time. You got the awards to back yourself. The only thing or person who can stop you is you doubting that you deserve to be there. As soon as you know that's where you're supposed to be at, nobody's going to be able to stop you in that competition. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. We're rooting for you, and we're ready to celebrate that win with you for it. Now, you've been on TV and in magazines, correct?
I have.
You've been on Sophisticate, did I say that correct? Sophisticate's Black Hair Magazine. First off, how did that happen? How did you end up there?
So the first time it happened, I was contacted by this guy named Mr. Allen, and when he contacted me, he pretty much was looking for people to do a shoot, and I was like, well, let me try it. Let me just take everything that pretty much happened. Just was like me saying, let me just try it and see what happens. I booked the shoot, was nervous out of my mind. I had some of my close, near, and dear friends like, hey, y'all, I need 3 models. Will y'all model for me? And they did. They rocked it out. And we were published in there. I believe that was like the 2015 issue, one of the 2015 issues. And then the most recent one was with another photographer I hold near and dear to my heart, Mr. Sean Dowell. And he was like, hey, I would love for you to shoot to be published in Sophisticate's Black Hair Magazine again. And we did it. And it's an unreal moment, I would say, to go in the store. And I remember my best friend had actually came down, and we were going somewhere. I forgot where we were going, but we were going somewhere. And we went in the store and we were looking at magazines. And he was like, Ashton, this is your work. And I looked. I said, that is me. That is my work. And it was so unreal.
So you didn't know you were going to be in it? Like, they didn't tell you that?
Well, when you shoot, you don't know what issue you're going to be in. Like, mind you now, you might shoot and this issue might not come out till like 6-7 months later. So it literally happens when people are randomly in the store, like, hey,
I would hope they would at least call me like, hey man, you're gonna be in this next one coming out. Like, hey, you just gotta, hey, just keep an eye out basically for months.
You have to keep an eye out. You have to keep an eye out.
That's dope. Did you buy some of those magazines when you seen yourself in? I ain't gonna lie, I'd have been the first one to buy a copy of it. It'd been on the wall.
We bought like, I think I bought like, I was buying like 10 at a time.
I don't blame you. I did the same
For
thing.
like family, friends, you know, my close people, my clients was buying them out. It was crazy.
I would have did the same thing. That's dope. And you also been on Netflix a few times. Am I correct on that?
I was on Netflix one time. It's this show called We Are the Champions. And it was an episode highlighting hair battles. And the crazy thing is now, that was a shock. I did not know I was even going to be on the episode. I did not even know I was going to make a cameo appearance on the episode. I was watching it to support some of my great friends in the industry. And I looked, and because it's in the first few minutes, and I happened to look on the TV, and I'm like, that looked like me. So I rewinded it back, and I was like, wait, that is me doing somebody's hair on stage. And I was shocked.
Netflix ain't make you sign nothing to say it was cool to show your face, or they just like...
Well, no, because see how it works with the show is when you do certain shows, you sign like contracts. Say, hey, this may be featured on TV.
Oh, okay.
This may be featured on X, Y, and Z. So that's how they kind of, you know,
get over that little, you know, instead of having everybody one by one sign in a big room of people. Hey, just sign this when you sign up, so we good if we want to use you. That makes sense. That's dope. How was that experience being on Netflix? Did you tell everybody to go watch it when it happened?
I did. I called my mom. I called her. I said, guess what? I'm on Netflix. And they were like, Ashton, you lying? I said, no. I'm on Netflix. And everybody went and they watched it. And they were just so happy. They were so happy to just see everything I had been, you know, working for, you know, coming to fruition. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, with me working on certain things, sometimes I forget all that I've accomplished and all that I've done, because I'm a humble person, but sometimes my humility, it makes me downplay a lot of stuff that I've done. And
I tell everybody, not just you, not to do that, because it kind of makes it sound like some of the things you've been doing, there's nobody else who's done them. But when you kind of downplay them, it makes it seem less significant. And like me, I'm not too familiar with cosmetology, but I know based off what I know about you, you've been killing it. But for somebody else who doesn't know cosmetology, if you're so humble, I don't feel like it's going to give you the recognition that you not only deserve, but that you earned. And that's not a fair thing to you. But at the same time, you're the one doing it to you when you shouldn't. But
right.
That's the disconnect. But why do you do that? I know it's, you know, a humble thing, but it's just naturally. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, you know, but
I would say self-confidence was something for a while like that I struggled with. So it was like definitely something that I really had to learn to build on, because for so long I didn't have it. And so
that's how it be though. It'd be like the most talented people are the most humble, and the ones who should be humble are the ones who not humble at all.
They will put themselves
out. Yeah, they will let you know. But that might be too when you think on a deeper level. When you know how talented you are, you're not as pressed to try to prove it to other people because you know what you can do. But when you kind of know you may be lacking a little bit, you got to kind of go a little bit harder to try and show others that you're not lacking. But that might be the case, but no, you're not the first really talented person I know who just like, nah, I don't really care. Like, I could go a little bit harder and make sure people know, but I don't see the point. But I mean, it's still working for you, even if you're not actively just going out and putting it in people's faces. That just go back to, if it's undeniable, they can't deny you. You don't necessarily have to, because your accolades speak for themselves. Now, of course, it wouldn't hurt to do it a little bit more, but it's not like holding you back. Especially
for where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, for where I want to be in my career, I definitely have to get to the point where I put myself out there more. Because, you know, people are not going to want to. One day my goal is to become like a beauty brand educator and like have some kind of online education platform. You know, so how can I expect people to buy my online education platform if I'm not putting myself out there and making myself visible?
They want to attach a face to a brand and like, oh, I need to because I remember him from A, B, and C. I got to go get his class. Now that makes, you're going to have to then. If that's the goal, then you're going to, you know, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point we have to put that into play so you can get everything, like I said, that you deserve. Speaking of that, so we know you're going to do the beauty brand one day. We know you got the competition coming up in April. Like I said, you've been killing it. One, are you accepting new clients? Or if somebody wanted, if you are accepting new clients, how do people get in contact with you to try to book?
I am accepting new clients. I do have a booking website. If you go on my Instagram, the Hair Homicide, it is hot off the press hairsalon.as.me. That is my booking website. Also, you can reach me at my personal number, 478.
Hold on, I'm gonna cut you. This is a Million View podcast. I don't want you to just put your number out there because then people will just start calling. I'm gonna do you a favor. Hit them on. I mean, if you want to, by all means, it's your thing. But on average, my videos get anywhere from 10 to 30 to 40,000 people. I don't know if you want to put your number out there and everybody just be reaching out to you who may not have, just to be, you know.
Talking.
Yeah, just talk.
Got you.
Yeah. Now, but I just wanted to put that out there. Now, if you still want to give me your number, it's your show. But, you know, I don't want nobody just calling just to waste your time just because they heard the phone number.
Right. So we'll leave that out.
Yeah, just go to the booking site first, and then, you know, he'll DM the number if needed from there. But I was like, oh, I ain't even gave my number on here. So I was like, oh, hold on, let me not even set you up for failure like that. But what other places? Do you already said your IG? They can, you know, they got the booking site. You know, if needed, once you book or once you contact the IG, he'll give you his phone number directly just to make sure there's no, you know, nothing else going on like that. But what else do we got going as far as you yourself? What's some other things we need to look out for? Some other announcements? What's just going on in the life of you that's important to your story?
Well, actually, like I said, I'm getting ready for, you know, Bronner Bros. Hair battle. So it's definitely, I will be doing a lot of fundraising, a lot of events, a lot of things of that nature. So you guys definitely be on the lookout for that.
And I know you mentioned that you have to raise a lot of money to join. What is that about?
We do. Well, because we're battling for $10,000, you know, we are the sole proprietors of our show. You know, it goes back to, you know, you got to spend money to make money.
That's true.
So, you know, because this is a $10,000 show, you have to spend about $8,000 to $10,000 to really make the show happen. You know, it's so many moving parts in productions of this caliber. You know, you have your dancers, your models. You know, you got to cover where they stay. You got to make sure they're good on traveling.
Now, is this you or is this Bronner Bros who has to do this? Like, is it 8 to 10 per person or just the show?
It comes out of Ashton's pocket.
Wow.
It comes out of the competitor's pocket, but that's what makes this, it really just shows like how bad do you want it? Because being on this stage, you know, it's something that many won't, but few, you know, get a chance to do. You know, this is something you can't even enter it. You have to get an invite. You can't walk up to them and be like, hey, my name is such and such, you know, I want to be in your show. No, they hand select who they want to compete on that stage. And being on that stage, you can take your career to any level you want it to. It really sets the tone for you to branch out to a lot of avenues.
Gotcha. Now the businessman in me, I gotta ask. Mm-hmm. So I know the winner gets 10. You spending 8 to 10. Is there like any way to make that money back if you not only want to speak into existence that you're gonna lose? I don't think you are. But is there a way to get money back, or is there anything like, all right, I lost, but I still, you know, make a couple of dollars back doing so and so, or it's just all hope for networking and opportunity exposure if you don't get to 10?
Well, most definitely, like, above all else, you know, you win in the end because you got a chance to be on that stage. Yeah,
it adds I'm assuming, a different level of legitimacy probably to
and people profession. Know who you are. And above all else, too, I always tell people, when I compete, I have a security blanket. I always tell people when you compete, have a security blanket. At least have a little bit of money for when you get back home. For when you get back to regular life. And please, please, please make sure your bills are paid.
Please don't, bet on yourself by all means, but don't bet too hard that now you gotta find somewhere to stay after the Bronner Bros. Please.
Right. Make sure your bills are paid. But above all else, like I tell people, whatever happens, it's in God's hands. I trust him. He's led me this far. Hey.
So what type? I know you say you're doing fundraisers. What type of fundraisers are you doing?
I'll be definitely putting up a GoFundMe account. I will be doing T-shirts to promote along the way. We got a couple raffles planned, so I'm excited about that.
How much the T-shirts gonna be? Do you know?
I have not priced them yet. Of course, we have to get with I have to do the numbers behind everything.
Of course.
The base cost, how much it would cost.
If you need a T-shirt plug, let me know. I got you somebody. Make it easier for you.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I need me a shirt, man. Whenever you decide the price, you let me know. I at least got one shirt for you, hopefully more. But
definitely.
We definitely gonna support. I'm mainly asking to see where can I come in and help you try to get to the goal at. But we can talk about that more. Once you figure it out. But we definitely behind you 100%. We definitely supporting what you're doing. And like I said, just happy to see you chasing your dream. Like you said, most people would have heard, because I didn't even know. Like I never like to pretend on camera that I know more than I do. I had no idea Bronner Bros. Like I've heard of it, but I didn't know it was those type of costs associated with it. So yeah, anything we can do to try to get the word out, or even help try to raise a couple of dollars to support somebody from our community, chasing the dreams, making us proud. Win or lose, you already made us proud by getting there, just to be clear. But of course, we wouldn't mind you winning too while you're there. If you could happen to go and bring it home for us, we like that too. But regardless, we proud that somebody setting their foot there, making a mark there, and just really putting on at a level that, again, I don't want to sound ignorant nor disrespectful. If there is somebody else doing it around here, I personally just don't know. So we're definitely proud of what you're doing, and definitely want to be a part of it any type of way that we can.
And it's an honor to represent Middle Georgia and put Middle Georgia on the map. It is a lot of talent here.
Trust me, I know. I just sat down with a lot of. That's why the one thing I really love about this podcast, I done learned so much, because I have a music background. So of course, I already knew about musicians and things like that. But like people like you or other people who I've sat down with chefs, things like I had no idea about, just learning like, oh man, for real, it's 8 to 10. Like y'all, those type of things. That stuff I really like to enjoy. Like, I mean, it's cool to talk about stuff you already know, but to actually sit here, like, you done taught me some stuff I had no idea about. Like, those are the conversations I really enjoy, because I'm actually sitting here learning. Like, I didn't have to look 1,000 times at the questions. It's like, legitimately, hey, what does that mean? What is that? Like, those are the things I really enjoy, and I definitely appreciate you coming and both teaching me and my audience, the people who watch this, new information that I know they didn't know, and know I didn't know. And then, like I said, we got to learn the person from your beginnings out to the country, going back and forth to the city, to you being strong enough to come out and stand by that, getting the support of people, really build your own self up. Most people would have stopped, because I know a lot of people, especially, again, I know mainly barbers, not cosmetologists, but booth rent a big thing. I know a lot of guys who literally stopped cutting hair because booth rent was too expensive, or they just couldn't figure out how to manage, especially when you first start and you ain't got a lot of clients. That booth rent, like, you may only make $100, $150 a week. And you telling me I got to get at you just to cut hair out of here or do hair out of here? The fact that when you were presented with a situation, you did what was best for you, which wasn't stopping. A lot of people would have just stopped and said, okay, this is a sign, this ain't for me. Like, no, that was a sign for you that it's for me, just in a different way. And
you gotta keep fighting. Like, it's a matter of, in the beauty industry, you have to be smart. Because it's gonna be one day when literally your career turns, and that turn, you have to be smart. When I was younger, I didn't know about that turn. So when I went from barely making ends meet you know, when I first moved to Warner Robins, getting people to know who I was, it went from one day having a packed house for people, for me, to see me, to sit in my chair.
And that's humbling in itself.
And I wish I would have had a little bit more knowledge when it came to that money, saving, investing, all that good stuff. That's why I tell a lot of younger people in the industry, when you first start making that money, please get you a CPA. Save, invest, you know, do all that, because we are our own retirement. And a lot of the beauty industry, you know, after a certain age, a lot of them end up getting a second job. Or shifting to a whole nother career, because, you know, we can't be behind the chair forever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a time we're gonna get tired. Well, we can't put in all those hours. Trends change. New, fresh people come in the industry. So if we don't stay abreast on the trends, you know, it's easy for us to fade away in the background.
Speaking of that, has there ever been like a hairstyle trend that you, I don't want to say couldn't do, because I just feel like that's disrespectful to your craft, but like, was there like a weird hairstyle that you just couldn't grasp?
I always tell people, know your lane. I know my lane when it comes to certain things. I know my lane when it comes to certain things. When it comes to even certain braid styles, yeah, that's a no. You know, it's certain new beauty trends, that's a no. And I would transparently say, grasping baby hairs, this whole new baby hair concept, it was hard for me. You know, because this new baby hair concept, you gotta darn this sketch baby hairs in these people's heads.
Oh yeah, with the little front hairs and stuff. They be getting fancy with them now.
So, you know, that was something that was hard for me to grasp, but I didn't give up at it. You know, I just kept going and going and going until I, you know, began to master it. But, you know, there are things that I can do and I can't do, and you know, I'm transparent as possible with my clients. I'm like, hey, well, I can't 100% guarantee I can do this.
We could try it, though.
We can try it, but I can't 100%, you know.
Yeah, all I can tell you is what I can do. What you choose to do with that information is all you.
But they appreciate that.
That's true.
You know, they appreciate that. So, definitely, with your clients, honesty is the best policy. You have some people that will be your guinea pigs. They'll be like, do whatever on my head. You know, their literal purpose is to help you grow. In whatever way possible. Those are the people that believe in you along the way, and they're going to shape your career in a major way, because that's how you grow. So
when people tell you just do what they want, like do what you want with their hair, do you just have like a set hairstyle you go to? Because to me, that'd be like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, all right, when somebody tell me that, I'm gonna do the same hairstyle every single time. Is that you, or do you like really try to get creative?
I look at their facial shape. I look at their eye colors. I look at, you know, their personality. Every hairstyle does not fit everyone's personality. You know, I always have a philosophy with people. Does your personality whisper, talk, or scream? Do you want your hair to whisper, talk, or scream? You know, even in personalities and things of that nature, you have people who more so soft-spoken, solid, classic. You know, you have your classic professional businesswoman. Then, you know, you have your savvy woman. You know, fashion forward, X, Y, and Z. And then you have your woman that's the rebel, the rock star. She's real cutting edge. She's the trendsetter. You know, and those are the clients you get to really have fun with, because they, you know, they like to stay ahead of the game with hair trends. So it really just depends on what avenue they want to go. And then from there, I create something that fits them.
Dope. So at this point, this is the open floor segment where, like I said, I really feel like we covered a lot. I personally learned a lot. But what's some other things, like I said, I never want to pretend to believe that I know everything. What's some other important things that I didn't ask you directly, or that you feel like is important while the camera is still running, to let people know about yourself, your industry, or just anything going on that you just want to discuss?
Well, one thing I definitely want to discuss along the way is, for my women, especially my black women, make sure you guys are taking the time to understand and take care of your hair and do what's best for your hair, and not what, you know, you think is going to conform to society. A lot of times, you know, with the common beauty trends now, you know, we have, and this is not to knock anyone, you know, but we have stylists that don't shampoo hair. You have salons where
I've been seeing that. Why is that so? Why? And I don't even know much, but technically, like, aren't they required to shampoo hair? Or am I wrong on that?
now in the state of Georgia, when you're performing a service on someone, you are technically supposed to shampoo their hair.
Yeah. See, and I'm not even in the industry, but I don't know why I knew that, but even I knew that. So what is this big thing? Because I've heard about it. I'm not in the industry, so like I've heard it, but I didn't put too much thought into it. What is the big thing about shampooing hair? Because when I used to go to the salon, my mama, you know, because we ain't had no babysitting, I had to go. Everybody, that's how everybody, like, I never heard a stylist upset about shampooing hair. Where is this coming from all of a sudden?
It's a new thing because I think a lot of times now, you know, a lot of people are pressed for time. So it's like, from the stylist end, I think it's like the quicker I can get them in and out, the better.
Less time on you, more time for somebody. How long does a shampoo take for a professional shampoo? Maybe I'm ignorant to how long it takes.
About 10 to 15 minutes if you're doing a good one. But still, it's like a lot of people don't want to, you know, our hair is different. You have to detangle. You have to shampoo. You have to properly section the blow dry. You have to do a lot, you know. So a lot of people don't want to take the time to do those type things. But those are very crucial when it comes to hair services because, you know, our clients look at us as doctors. You know, we are doctors. We're not in the medical field, but we touch the head. In beauty school, we have to learn chemistry, anatomy. You know, we have to learn about the different bacteriums. We have to learn about all that. So, you know, when it comes to that, you know, not shampooing a client's hair is kind of doing them a disservice because, you know, yes, you know, the style may be gorgeous, but when it comes to the overall health of their hair and the growing of their hair, you know, you're doing them a disjustice. And I'm old school. I grew up in old school salons where they shampoo. A shampoo was a requirement for a hair service.
Well, they used to have like shampoo people. Like this. That's where you started at when you got into the salon back then. All you did was shampoo hair. And is that it? Maybe like, especially a lot of these new hairdressers going into business for themselves, which is awesome. But it's just you. Maybe you don't have, you know, the shampooer. So now you got to shampoo, you got to do the hair. And I can see both sides of it. I don't have the time to do it, but it's something important that needs to be done. It sounds like you on the side of shampooing the hair every time, though.
Right. It's something that needs to be done. I currently do not have an assistant, but still, I definitely take the time. Each client gets a shampoo. It's a requirement.
As it should be.
To sit in my chair, you have to get a shampoo.
Because some people are charging extra to shampoo hair, or they just saying they will not do it.
Now, technically, I am going to say this. Technically, it is, when we go to beauty school, you're supposed to charge like a la carte for everything. You're supposed to write them a ticket for everything. And it's supposed to be like, okay, so we did a shampoo, conditioning. We did this, that. Everything is supposed to be, you know, written down. But I just find it easier to do one set price.
Yeah.
And just include everything. Like, okay, how much would the value of this service cost for X, Y, and Z? And let me put all this into one price. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, sometimes it might be where you might say, okay, a silk press is X amount of dollars. But you need a trim. You need a deep conditioning treatment. If you tell people sometime, well, that's extra.
Yeah, they don't want to do it.
And above all else, you know, some people with a strict budget, they might have budgeted their hair or saved for this amount of money for their hair, you know. So I'd rather just say my silk press is this price. It includes your deep conditioning. It includes your trim. It includes your style. You know, people respect that more because everything, even in my weaving services, it includes shampoo, you know, deep conditioning if need be, trim, and then the weaving service. You know, so they get a bomb weaving service, and they get a bomb, you know, their hair it's gonna grow under it. So
you can't lose with that.
Right.
I like that. Good answer. Good answer. Anything else going on in the industry that you feel like needs to be discussed? That was excellent. That's actually a question I should have had when I think about it as far as the shampoo goes, because I've been seeing it and I was wondering why was that so important. Like, but it makes sense now. And you said it's required in Georgia, so it's not required everywhere. It sounds like.
I don't know.
Oh, that's all that matters.
As how state board works, in each state they have their own different set of rules. Some rules are the same across the board. Some rules certain states kind of modify.
Got you. But as far as Georgia, where we're at, you're supposed to be shampooing these heads. So that's all that matters. Anything else going on in your life that we can discuss or that you want to bring up? Like I said, while the camera is still rolling.
Just definitely stay tuned for what happens in the future. I have a lot planned, you know, even after getting ready for the show, because actually I was supposed to start a podcast in January. But life happened, you know, with all this that happened, you know, God saw another path. You know, he was like, let this happen for you first. And, you know, it's just like I had to put that on the back burner. But later on in the year, I am, you know, like I said.
And as the podcast guy, I gotta ask, why we can't do the podcast at the same time?
Well, you know, I'm the type of person, I like to focus on one thing at a time.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, you know, with everything, you know, it's the, you know, I'm 110 with everything.
As you should be.
So trying to put 110 in both things, like, it could become overwhelming. And I want to definitely focus on it because, you know, mental health in the Black community is very near and dear to my heart. And I definitely would like to do something that created a safe space for them to just talk. And not so, like, serious. You know, it can be lighthearted. But I also do want to bring in Black therapists. I want to bring in, you know, Black people that's mental health activists, LGBTQ activists, you know, all that. Even, you know, activists for Black men and violence and all that good stuff. And just really, like, you know, create a safe space for people. And it started because in the salon, even in the barbershop, think about it. Your stylist or your barber kind of becomes like your best friend.
That's a fact. I've actually done a mental health episode. I need to do another one because I did one early on, like episode 10 maybe. But that's the main thing they were talking about too. The barbers, like that's low key kind of like your therapist. No, definitely, man. I'm excited to see your podcast whenever you do it. I already know it's gonna be a great podcast. You're well spoken, so we're definitely excited to see that when you have time to put it out for us. But other than that, what else we got going on?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Just, you know, that's so far what I have planned for this year. And, you know, wherever else this year may lead, you know, hey, who knows?
Well, we wishing you the best. And like I said, we definitely going to need an update as far as what happens in April. But like I said, win or lose as far as whatever happens, just know we proud of you. We already know you're going to kill it. So, and like you said, what's meant for you is always going to be meant for you. So your time is definitely coming. It's going to be the first step in a long journey of you finally getting to achieve everything that you deserve. But we're proud of you regardless. But if you have nothing else to say, my name is Lawrence Ray, and we are done.